Oh, guys. It's not my day. The universe is jinxing my live action today. I'm all prepared for all these great lives, but I can't get them to work. I've just cursed Kirsty. I think now it was actually my fault, Kirsty, that I didn't show up on your post. So, Prue, I can see you. Now, Abby, when you jump on, I'm just not sure why I can't. Must be something in your settings that I can't add you onto the live. Hi, Prue. Good to see you, babe. While I'm waiting for Abby to come back on, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I've tried to add her a few times. So I've got 4 of you watching, and I'm not sure why I can't get everybody on here. So I can see, oh, Abby, you're on. I've got you, add. Now this should be adding you, Abby. Bring them, add. Okay. Now let's see if this adds. I've got a flashing adding for Abby, so let's see if everything aligns. It might just be the connection maybe for the moment, so hopefully. Thanks, Prue. Yeah, I know. Now I've got something. I've got it adding for Abby now. So we're just seeing what's going on here. Oh, it's a little tricky. Abs, I'm here. I've got you adding. I think you may just have to accept that maybe now, Abby, that it's come through. There'll be an invite because I've added you. Hi, Samantha. I've got Prue, Kirsty, Sam. Is she coming on? Is it happening? No, I've lost her. Abby Gilbert. Let's bring them on camera. Add. Now it's saying adding. So we're on the right path, Abby. I can feel it. It's going to happen. It says bring them onto camera, and it says it's adding. I don't know if there's something that you have to do on your end, maybe just to join. It might bring up something on your screen. I'll connect it. Yay! We did it!
Oh my gosh. Can you hear me?
Now let me just make sure I can hear you. Oh, hold on. Can you hear me? I might have to undo this.
I can hear you.
Oh, I can hear you now. Yes. Okay, I just put the thing out.
Great, great.
Oh, look at us. I was like, I've just done a live on Kirsty's page on the Wake and Soul, and we did this amazing live on breathwork, and it was a beautiful Kirsty said, and no one like me.
We'll work it out.
What a big curse today.
We did it.
We did it. And we got a good connection. So this is awesome.
Well done.
Yay! I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. We've worked it out. We've got the beautiful Abby on. I'm just so blessed to have all you guys in the tribe. And Tuesdays, like I was saying before, I just want also the men to be part of it. But I feel like it's really important for us as women to connect and share our experiences, but also to show each other how we're stepping up in the world. And I feel as women, a lot of the time, we feel so disconnected to each other. And I know myself that has been something that I haven't always trusted the women in my life because I felt there's been so much comparison. And something I really want to do in this tribe for my own healing, and also I know for others, is to have that support from women and to be really seen by each other, because I think if we can drop that comparison and support each other in all that we are and all that we're going through, and to see each other that we're all going through the same stuff, I think that's going to really help us as a feminine, for the feminine, for us to soften, for us to step up and really allow us to be seen and to, you know, to bring the things that we deserve into our life with that support from the women in our life. So
Beautiful.
So yeah, so you're my first person on. So I'm so excited to have you on the tribe, and I already know you through Brad, and he's only said amazing things, and I wanted to bring you on because it just meant so much to me that you've engaged in the tribe. You've been really raw and you've shared, and I feel we have a lot of similarities, you know, and also being mothers and life, and just from what you've shared. And I wanted just to open this space up to you, to share your journey, to what you bring to the world, because I feel like it's really important. It's like there's this beautiful little tribe of these amazing women down in Tasmania, and I feel like the world needs to see you as well. So it's going to be really nice to share today.
Great. Beautiful. Yeah, I feel really blessed to have such amazing sisters down here with me, and we're having conversations like this all the time. You know, this is our normal. So, yeah, as you said, it feels really lovely to be able to extend that out, because it should be all of us supporting one another and raising each other up. And this is really my mandate, for us all to be on the stage and in the spotlight at once, and for us all to be able to hold the door open for one another through inspiration. And it doesn't mean giving our power away, but it just through showing that one of us can, by one of us doing it, shows that everyone can do it. And sometimes, you know, we're firing on all levels and we can lead the pack, and other times we're fully dragging our feet. And what I like about this collaboration is that, you know, when we are dragging our feet, you know, our sisters at the front and our brothers as well, who have that energy, can really pave the way and inspire us. And then I kind of think of it like a pack of road riders. You know how there's someone at the front and everyone travels in the slipstream, and then they might drop behind, and then the next person leads the pack. So
I love that.
yeah, so I kind of feel like it's our responsibility to do that, and in acknowledging that we don't always have the energy or the clarity to be leading the pack, but it's okay. It's okay to fall behind, and to know that we're going to be supported by our tribe in a way that, yeah, for us to rise up.
And I think that is a big thing, isn't it? Because when you are moving through so much of your own personal journey, there's this part of you in society that feels like when you need to go back and when you need to step back inside yourself, that you're not stepping up for everybody else. So it's nice when you feel like you are supported by everybody around you, that they're holding you through that time, and then they're cheerleading you when you're standing in front as well. So it's that energetic support on both levels, where it's okay to drop back and be quiet and inside yourself, but then also be out the front as well. And that's where I think that it gets a little bit lost, that there always has to be one person out the front. It always has to be this person, but where's the downtime and where's the support when they're not always on and they're moving through to upgrade to the next level and, you know, clearing their old stuff, you know.
And to acknowledge that downtime and that rest time is so important, and it's part of the process. You know, it's that coming into alignment with that cycle of death and rebirth, and we need that in-between stage, that breath time. And, you know, it's difficult to be in a society that really values striving and achieving and going all the time, like this addiction to adrenaline. So to really surround ourselves with people that really celebrate us when we're I'm laughing because I'm imagining our friend Sammy, who's in the tribe, sitting at home hennaing her hair, and she says to me, today I'm just going to henna my hair and light some incense and rest. I'm like, what? She's so good at having the downtime, you know, and I'm still learning that is such an important part of our growth, having that rest. And I know you've had a similar journey. Yeah.
And I think too, being a mother puts another aspect onto your life, that you give all the time, and someone needs you all the time, especially when they're young and you're doing it by yourself. You're playing both roles in a lot of ways, and then you forget to stop, and you forget that you do need to fill your own cup, because there's always something to do.
Yeah.
And it's stopping the peripheral of everything talking to you, to quieten that down, to actually fill your own cup and to stop, because you get to that reactive state, especially being a mother, that you're not serving anybody because you haven't served yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's taken me a really long time to being the overgiver and you know, needing to connect and feeling so over responsible for everything I felt as well and could see, but then I wasn't doing it for myself and honoring that in myself. And that space now, I come back as a better person, and I know you would probably feel the same way, getting to feel that in your own body, and there's so much more space, even giving yourself that just small amount of time.
Yeah. And it's actually, for me, I have a bit of time because I share the care of my kids with my ex-husband, and it's taken me a while to actually be okay about celebrating that. You know, at first when we were working out our arrangements, I was really resistant to not having them here with me all the time, because I love them, but also because I felt like if I didn't say that, then it would make me a bad mother. But I know that they are well cared for and well loved when they're in his care, just as they are in my care. So when I don't have them here with me, it's actually a really beautiful time to do all that cup filling and move ahead with my projects and my offerings, and so that when they are with me, I can be super present, because that's all they really want. They just want my presence, and they don't need the bells and whistles. They just want me. So and I feel like if I can get all of that stuff done when they're not with me, as much as I can, then I can give them that.
And that does definitely have its benefits. Their dad had them every second weekend, but sometimes I feel like all I want to do is drop out and rest, and then I think, oh, I've got all these things to do. It's really kind of listening to what your soul needs, and I know straight away when I'm going against what my soul needs and it's not really aligned, I really do need to rest, that I'm not really getting anything done anyway. And then by the time they get back, I'm not being present with them. So I completely relate in that kind of balance of mother, rest, doing, you know, showing up for what you want to share as well, when there's a huge part of me, and I kind of feel with you that you're getting guided and pushed, not pushed, but to step up, and then it's how to do that in that aligned, nurturing way to yourself. Because my downfall is I've gone out and hustled and pushed a lot in my life.
Hustle.
And
oh my gosh.
To my own detriment in my health. And probably not being as present as a mother, and which is, you know, my main priority. So how do you feel that you've navigated a lot of that? That's a good question.
I feel like I'm still navigating that, because, you know, as you would know as a mum, especially a mother of young children, they're growing so quick and things just change all the time. So I feel like I need to adjust to that constantly, as to what their needs are. And it's taken me, like, when as I've been birthing these gifts and these offerings, there's been a huge amount of urgency around that, and I really felt the push to bring it through, and because of that urgency, I felt like I needed to put all of my attention and energy into that, and I was just rushing, you know, I was just trying to bring all these ideas were coming through, and I was just wanting to bring it all, ground it all in at once, and of course that was never going to work. So I'm still learning, and I'm still learning to do things in their aligned timing, to be present to what my needs are and my children's needs, and still learning on top of that to be compassionate to myself when I don't get it right. So to be okay to make those imperfect action steps, you know, just those little things that aren't like the big grand vision, but that are just those little aligned steps that can that the big vision can inspire and inform, and that it's okay to make mistakes and for them not to be perfect. And that's been a big thing, because like as we become more present in this kind of forum, everything's out. When you put things out there, they're out there forever. And so like you want everything to look nice and shiny, but I think it's actually more authentic when we put things out there and it's not all nice and shiny and not all perfect.
Yeah, and I think the reality thing is that most of the time it isn't shiny, and that's where I feel like the separation comes for all of us, is that when it is always nice and shiny and perfect, it's like I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to do that with everything that I'm trying to bring through, be as a, might I be present in myself, there's all these aspects that you're trying to look after when you are being conscious and wanting to be grounded and conscious and have the practices and be the parent you want to be, and also be a partner. And there's so many things that life pulls you, but it's just coming back to, like you said, that alignment. And I think it flows a lot easier if you feel, and if you actually are sitting in that alignment instead of driving, pushing. But I felt the same way, that all of a sudden all these downloads are coming through and I need to get these done. It's like, like how do I like do all of these things? And I just had to get out of the mind and connect back into the breath and just go, okay, I only need to do what I need to do now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where we get lost in that. And I see it in so many of my friends and the women around us. We put so much pressure on ourselves to have everything perfect and to be everything for everybody else. And we lose sight of what it really is. And it can be so simple, I think, because it's so simple that we make it harder.
We make it so complicated.
It's just like, I know, when you actually come back to it and it is so simple, it's like, yeah, but really, is that it? Like,
and I think a big thing is trust as well, because we've got our team, and I know that you believe in that, and that's, again, I'm really lucky to have my sisters down here. We talk in energy terms a lot, and and when we're in a rush as mothers and people that work, and I think sometimes we would do better service to ourselves just to trust. It's like, okay, team, this is what I'm wanting. This is what I'm wanting to manifest. Can you just take care of that? And a lot of the time we get in the way of micromanaging and control. And I think the more that we can hand over to trust, the better. It just slows things down, and it honours our known interconnection with all life.
And do you think working through, obviously, your own fears and limiting beliefs and things that you've moved through have allowed you to be a lot more present and aligned? Obviously, it's an evolving journey. It's not a to-do list of your inner work, but do you find that allows you just to be more centered when you've let go of some of the emotional baggage that has been drawing you out of just trusting?
Definitely, yeah. And there's always going to be the next layer. There's always going to be the next limitation and the next block and the next way of us being in the way. And again, just for that to be okay, not to try and go too deep and get rid of it all at once, because it is our journey, and we can only manage what we can manage in the moment. And just to have, I've got a really strong practice around that now, so I feel really blessed in that I have the tools to navigate that.
And that's what I think is something that I know, until I've found the tools in my toolbox that I can go to, it was just so bloody overwhelming all the time. It was like, I had nothing to stop it all, in a sense. And I think it really is committing to that. What do you find, and this is something that I want to open that for everybody, because we're all trying to find things to put in our toolbox when we get to that place. And I know some people think, but you're so much more spiritual, so much more connected. And I just want to diminish that myth, because I think that people, because we may you know, you may speak differently, or you may open to different things that people feel it makes them feel uncomfortable in. Not, it's just more than not knowing. Then they go, oh, but I don't really know if I just want to sort of like really bring it back to basics on the things that have really stepped you onto your path and opened you up to those practices, and how it makes you feel now, knowing you have them in your toolbox.
There's so much in that question.
I know, that was a big loaded question, wasn't it?
So I think acknowledging, to start with, that people will perceive what they're receiving in so many different ways, and I can use, because I run Rewild Dances, and it is a healing experience, and there are lots of amazing women that come to that who are healers in their own right, or holders of space for healing, and we will quite often have the same outcome, but we all experience it in a really different way. So I think the number one thing is to take people off pedestals as being this amazing spiritual person and has everything because they experience it in this way, to actually just starting to drop in and to really acknowledge and honour how we have our own personal experience of things. And quite often I'll get my information in really different ways, like from a book or a conversation, or like hearing an ad on the radio. I don't always have lightning bolts of downloads or see things or hear things or feel things. I'm open to receiving them in whatever form they're given. And the more and more I acknowledge that, the more comes in as well, that we are in constant communication with our external environment, of which we're interconnected with. So wisdom comes in all different forms, I feel. And I've been really lucky to have some amazing teachers to just help me on my pathway to owning my gifts, and so I've been really lucky in that way. And ritual's been a big part of my life, and I'm owning that more and more as well. So when I have my own practices to move through the layers, it's quite often ritualistic, and I work a lot with the elements, and that's my own personal way of recalibrating myself and getting closer to core. And I love fire, I love water, I love being outside, I love animal medicine, but it doesn't always resonate with people to do it in that way. So it's just to kind of honour everyone's different experience and journey with their own gifts and experience, I think.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and it's so true, because I think, like you said, we can create that separateness and block, in a sense, when we don't really understand what someone else is sharing, because we're perceiving it from a different platform, in a sense.
Yeah.
And then, so it's just creating that another level of separation from just being open to what that shows you. And like you said, I'm the same. Like, things come to me in all different ways.
Yeah.
And definitely feeling it. I've noticed for me that as the layers have come off, especially around my heart, the connection to myself and to sort of the openness that I've been feeling, everything is just sort of flowing a lot better, and the information comes, like you said, in so many different ways, and the conversation or a connection or just something really simple, you know, because I'm more present in the moment. I'm not thinking about a million things ahead of myself, which is nice. And then like all the time that I thought that I didn't have this space, I actually do have the space if I'm present in my own body in the moment.
Yeah.
And that can be even driving the kids, when I leave the kids and drop them to school, and when driving off, and that is such a huge time for a mother to have that 10 minutes driving, you know, and so much
that's
that
my main healing time.
And I mean, but I think mothers, I don't have time for myself. I don't have this, not just mothers, but just even women in general, if that have businesses and lives and anything that we're always externally getting pulled. Finding those times, like I call them like little sanity spaces that you can just drop into the slot in your own self with your breath, and be conscious, you know, listen to music or podcasts that might inspire you, and and breathe when you're driving. And I think the more you can be present in your physical body through that time, it doesn't really matter what medicine, it just allows that you bring to the world. It allows you to figure out what resonates with you too, because it's not the head blocking you from something. It's actually you start to feel things like, oh, maybe that I really like to experience that, or I'm going to open up to that, or I've never heard of that before, because a lot of the time you'll move through life and you're so busy and you sort of get stuck in that, and then it all just looks too different because it comes in a different package than what you're sort of seeing, that you're missing out on such a beautiful part. And that's what I love, the rawness and the nature and the gifts that you are all bringing down there that I haven't experienced. And I even had a moment in my head, I was like, what can I have this, I started to doubt myself, and I had to really sit with that part of myself and, well, what expectation am I putting on myself? And so it's amazing how you can start to build up stories
so easily. We make ourselves wrong all the time.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful that you've got the breath as a tool to create that space for yourself. And I think a lot of people, you know, that you're bringing through that gift, because so many people are disconnected from their breath. And our breath is something that is with us all the time. So to be able to utilise and harness that as a way of just coming back into the now moment and into our bodies, and in whatever space you're in, so wonderful.
And especially for me, being someone that can be very heady, to feel safe in my physical body has been something that's taken me a long time to feel grounded. And the more I felt grounded and present in my body and shifted through that, then I obviously have so much more connection and openness to everything else. And that's what I love about what you share, Abby, and with your dance and everything that you bring to the table. I really want to know more about what you do and how you share, and so everyone else can obviously see how you show up and your gifts and how you share it with the world.
Sure. I think we all come with our unique blueprint, you know, our signature blueprint of our unique gifts. And I've always resonated with the outdoors, and it's something that it is me. You know, it's embodied in me, and it's something that I can't ignore, and it's something that when I'm outside and learning to do more and more inside, because again, we are interconnected to everything. So being peaceful about realising that I can still harness those same medicines in an indoor space has been really interesting, because I know that I love the purity of the outdoor experience, but I live in Tasmania, you know, so so not everyone's going to want to join me on a vision quest or a healing ritual outside when it's snowing outside. So it's learning to really acknowledge my embodiment of those elemental medicines that are a part of me and a part of everyone, but that's just what I particularly have a forte for, and to trust that more and more. So that ongoing process of just trusting what you're perceiving is what you're perceiving, that it's true. And I'd love to just go back to what you were saying before around those moments where we're receiving those downloads and in all those different forms. I feel like a big thing that kind of brings us undone is that we have all these different hats that we put on at different times, but it kind of blocks our capacity to receive. It's like, right, I'm a mum right now, and that's my job. I'm no longer amazing spiritual healer Melissa, or I'm at my job and this is where I'm not this spiritual aspect of myself, or I'm not this healer, or I'm not this aligned one. I feel like that's a big part of how we separate, because we kind of compartmentalise ourselves. And I feel like each version of us has all these different offerings to to bring the whole of us. And the more and more we can keep all those hats on at the same time, then the better it serves us. So even when we're doing the dishes, or we're making dinner for the kids, or we're running around at work, or whatever it is that we're doing, that to acknowledge in those moments that we still are that amazing dance facilitator, or that breathwork facilitator, or that you know, like Kelly with her shaman journeys, you know. So, and she's really good at that. She spontaneously goes into journeys. So for her, there's no separation. That's who she is. And she's a really good example of just not blocking our connection to what the universe, how the universe wants to move through us.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing, and it's sort of probably where I'm stepping, is how to do it in both worlds. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I get so drawn, and then I need silence, and then I've got kids, and it's that sort of I'm just learning how to kind of walk between and be present in both, and like you said, not just have one hat on. It's all one, really. Yeah. And I think the more that I stop separating the hats and just bring it all into one, as mother, as you know, breathwork, as yoga teacher, as all, it's all starting to align and become more authentic, I think, too, because there is no separation. I've never been one to really change too much, or so you kind of, what you see is what you get, and my filter is not really good. What sort of comes out. So and a lot of it, and you know, for me, I feel like a lot of it's very heart connected, but sometimes can be reactive, and you know, so that's also to aligning to that, because you know, it's just bringing it all back into one, and that's what I think I wanted from this tribe, not just as in for ourselves, but to see it in other people, that you know, we create this, you know, idea in our mind of what somebody else is like, and somebody else is doing it better, and I just want to bring it all back and unpack everybody's stuff, because it doesn't really matter what we've gone through, whether it's been super traumatic or it's been actually not bad. How you perceive it in your own body, that feeling can just be as traumatic as the person that's had the traumatic experience. It still affects your life the same. It still limits you the same. And I think people discount that, and discount their own how important to go back in and sort of feel what's locked in that physical body, but then having the tools to actually do it. Like, you have to physically connect to nature and dance and feel it primally in your body, that we can shift it, like I do with breath work and yoga. It's the same thing. It's like, you know, everyone has to find something that resonates with them. And I love the idea too, especially for us that are more in the city, and you've got this beautiful space in nature. I'd love to share more on the page how we can integrate some of that nature and feel part of what you guys get to have in your life every day, when we're not necessarily in that environment. So that's something I'd love to explore as well, because we don't necessarily always have that connection to nature, but to be able to have that, like you said, inside and outside, and to bring that into one, I think that would be so powerful. And I feel that more as I feel like everything's one. But just for people that are starting the journey, some people that are further on their journey, it's like I want this to be part that people can connect to wherever they're on their journey. That it's not too far out of they can't reach it or touch it or understand it on some level. I want it to be simple and human, and then I want it to be open and beautiful. Do you know what I mean? I want that gap to be, you know, and I feel was something that you said before about bringing the outside to the inside, because obviously it's bringing everything back into one, like we're talking about all the aspects of ourselves back into one. So it kind of, it's coming back to that one, I suppose, and how we do that with the tools that we have.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that with all these different versions of us, obviously it's a bit like the road riding again that I was talking about. You know, there will be a version of us that, you know, comes forward. Like, we don't want that Carly aspect of us to be at the forefront when we're mothering our kids, you know. So that's when our mother steps forward. I often see my team or the versions of me as a tribe around a campfire, and one will step forward because that's when their gifts are needed. But it's almost like a round table that they're all present, and they're all offering the resources that they have to offer at once. But there'll be one that's kind of like with the talking stick, leading the way. Yeah. But I would love to do, I'm just starting to do video healing rituals on video, and I would love to do the majority of them outside. So if that's something that you feel like will be a benefit for the page, so that those of us who don't have that exposure to nature in the way that we do down here, it's a way of accessing that through this forum.
Yeah, I would love that. And I think, knowing myself, and Brad's a huge nature lover, and I am too when I'm there. I'm just like, get so caught in, you know, can be a real homebody too, that I'm just like to be in my little safe environment and, you know, get all like cozy.
Cocooned.
Cocoon myself up. Yeah. So, but I do feel so peaceful when I'm out in nature, and I know that's where I'm actually more connected to probably being in the bush than I am to the beach. Even though I love the beach, but it's the stillness that I find in nature, because I find that's what I long for, is the stillness, which I'm finding in myself more and more. Yeah. So it's interesting what you're attracted to. But I would love, and I'm sure if I feel this way, that something like that